Morning everybody. We're down at just outside the Bridge Inn, so just outside of Clevedon, Bristol. So it's Acorn again, third round of the spring series. As you're probably already aware if you've watched the last few videos, then we're winning the league. We've had 2 section wins. I'd love to win this league again. I won it a few years back, but it was quite a while ago. So I'd like to win it. We won a section win today, obviously, and we're in the good section. But anyway, we just want to be bungo. I haven't been on pegs 9 or 5 for I don't know how long, probably a couple of years. So one of those would be nice. They're sort of boss pegs on the whole lake. But other than that, nigh on all the pegs are going to be good. There is one I want to avoid, so I'm not going to say that number. I will peg 2. I don't want it. Anything else, brilliant. So let's get some breakfast and we'll get down there and let's hope we're bungo. Well, I changed my mind about the pegging. Not 2 I don't want, it's 12. That's our peg, 12. And there's the wind blowing that way. I can't believe it always blows down here. The rest of the section's got breeze, but we'll do our best. Thanks for joining me everybody. So peg 12, and as you've seen in what I've already mentioned, as I got out the van, is not ideal conditions, is it? You can see the sort of wind just up to my left, past the peg on my left and sort of going up that arm, and then a bit later you'll be able to see the wind going up on my right there as well at the other arm. But where we are, it's just coming off of our sort of, I'd say, well, sort of off of our left, our right shoulder. So it's sort of coming out the corner and skimming across us. So typical. All good pegs, really good section. Expected this to be a high weight section and I've drawn absolutely awful. So once we had a look at the lake and sort of did draw, or rather looked at the lake and realised where we didn't want to draw. I knew I didn't want to draw this peg. So get the moans out the way early, what I did is stood back and let everybody else draw. And then I went in last and the peg was in there. Now, some people said to me afterwards, oh, you should have got in there early because there was only one peg you didn't want, you know, and you should have got one of the other ones. But I just think sometimes fate is fate and that's it. You know, this was meant to be and that's it. So as soon as I got past that, you can sort of get the right frame of mind on, because you can sit in pegs like this, know you're up against it and you can go to pieces, or, you know, so it's frame of mind, isn't it? So I've quickly told myself, damage limitation, let's see what we can catch, get as many points as we can. Are we going to win the section from this? Not a chance. Are we going to get top 3? Very unlikely. But we got to just try and catch all we can and get some points in the bag. So we started across and we managed a small carp. As you can see, it's 17.5 metres across as well, which is a fair road reach. The biggest shame of it is you've got to sort of unship the pole 3 times, which is a bit of a pain. little £2 to get us started. So back across, use your format, 4mm pellets, nothing special or clever. Bolt the rig down as well. I'm not messing about with strung out and all this, that and the other for that far across. I don't want to be foul hooking fish. I want to keep it nice and simple. In fact, it's 4mm in the cad pot, but I got a 6mm in the band at the moment because I don't want to catch, a skimmer or little tench or anything. I just want to catch, want to go across there, get one clean, nice bite, catch a carp. It is bright, it is flat. I don't think it's gonna, I don't think we're going to consistently catch across. I think it's a case, as you've probably seen watching my videos down here before, a case of sort of catching one or two fish, then coming away from it, trying to catch on a different line, then going back across 20 minutes or so later and trying to catch one or two more. And I think that's certainly going to be the case today. The fish do seem to be quite small, and also I don't know where we're really going to catch. It's our second line. I am going to throw some casters in. I have put up a couple of shallow rigs, but I'm not sure if there's enough fish in the peg to sort of try and come shallow and sort of compete. With it being so flat and bright, if there is fish, I think it's going to be very difficult. So I have put up a couple of rigs. They both are quite long lined though, longer than we'd normally use. I suppose the other option would have been to bring a little method feeder. I got plenty of short little rods, and I could have brought that. And that's my fault really for once again preparation. Part of your preparation should always be to check the weather. Quite critical really, and I haven't. I've just sort of thrown my kit a little bit together this week. I haven't had a lot of time, so then I come on down so more for me. But I think even a method, but it being so flat, so bright, I think you chuck it across there, catch one or two, then I think you'd just be sat there waiting forever, to be honest. I'm not so sure it'd be that much better. So no more across. So we went shallow with the caster. It's quite a long line, as I mentioned. We didn't get a sign, to be honest. We even used that long line eventually to push the float right up, just to see if we got some liners, just to see if there was something there milling about, and there wasn't. Um, Wasted about 20 minutes on that, then back across. So we're working hard, aren't we? That's the main thing. You just got to keep.
Fucking hell, look out, the kidney's going on over there. That's serious now, Roy. Your missus know you got that. Hey, your missus know you got that. She was baking today.
You can see the wind now, look, blowing up both those arms, but we're not getting anything at all, really. And if we do, it's a wind blowing out of the peg, isn't it? Just one of those, as we mentioned earlier, but it's something you've got to be aware of. You know, weather, wind, um, air temperatures, water temperatures, that they all matter. And although it looks like we're catching one or two across, and we are, which is brilliant, we are cutting quite a bit of time out. But I admit that, when, like I said, once you sort of got your head around the fact that you're going to be struggling in the peg, you just got to get your mind set around that and think, well, I'm going to extract everything I can from the peg, um, get the best points I can, and you're no longer sort of in the same match as others, if that makes sense. You're just fishing that peg, and that's what you should focus on. Just fishing that peg. Don't worry about what everybody else is doing. That's irrelevant to you now. It's just you against the peg and the conditions. So back on that shallow line, and we spent 20 minutes on that for nothing again, unfortunately. So over into 4 foot of water with maggots off to our right, down sort of the second shelf, if you like. And again, just nothing. So it's proven a little bit more difficult than I'd anticipated at the start. I was sort of thinking this section's going to be like one with £250, and I'm going to want £120 from this peg for some sensible points within section. But the fact of the matter is, I think it's fishing a lot worse than that. Now I don't know that because I can't see all my section. My section goes up where the two anglers you can see straight ahead are in my section. Then it goes off round the corner. The ones to my left are in a different section. So it's difficult to say, but I think it's fishing harder than what I originally thought, and I'm now thinking, you know, £100 going to be really good. I'm not sure how we're going to catch £100 out of the peg, but we're going to try. I'm not saying 100, as I say, £100 is going to win the section or anything, but £100 should get a sort of fourth, something like that. And I really think that's the sort of best we're going to do, to be honest. And we may well have hooked the smallest carp in the lake there. Yeah, that's so out of desperation. We go down the edge early, just have a look, just in case. So we're about 4 hours in. I think I got between sort of 17 and 20 pounds. It's that little really, but we've got just gone, as you can see, 12.5 meters off to that right hand side into the sort of dead water really. But there is a little bit of a tree there. We've gone into the shade of that, and I have hooked one on
Say a
casters.
little while ago, sorry,
That surprised me a little bit because I've fished just off of that in the deeper water and
not
in the
unfavorable,
edge, and
right?
we've not had a liner even. So perhaps I should have gone in there a little bit sooner. But there's nothing to say is solid. But we've gone in there with just a single caster, believe it or not. Cab potted a few casters, had a little dink, and we've got one. And on this rig, we're using grey hydro, um, 020 line, main line, 014 hook length, size 18 808, Tubertini 808. Gone in again. It's not been quite as fast as it shows, mind. I've had to wait sort of 5 minutes, but yeah, and we've got another one. Just brilliant, isn't it? Don't matter how hard it is, you're still fishing, aren't you? It's lovely. Love it. They're not massive, but they're no smaller than what we were catching
Hey,
across, that's for sure.
we put in £25, mate. Coming back.
So you can see by the amount of pole there, we've just pushed it right in underneath the tree now. Whatever's there is backed right off. Another little fish. You can see we got our trainers chucked behind me trolley bag there, so we're ready for a quick exit if it don't go well. I might want those today. But this is the realities of match fishing, isn't it? This channel that I'm doing isn't about, look at me, look how much we're winning and this, that, and the other. Respect the realities, isn't it? We love it, don't we? We're fishing. There's nothing better, especially when the weather's nice like this. Where else would you want to be? So the right hand edge did die on us. We had 4 fish for about £12. So I think we got about £27 now with 90 minutes to go. And we've hooked something on our short maggot line at last. Again, grey hydro, 014 hook length, 020 line. The only thing different today is I did scrimp on my edge rig. I did say I didn't really prepare that well for this match. I sort of come down, which might be a mistake, but on the edge rig I got a 018 main line. But I think that'd be enough for the day for what we're sort of catching in that. That's half decent fish, and a few more of those would be handy. And you can see that breeze as it goes out. I was talking to people after the match, and some people couldn't even like fish across due to the breeze, which is mental, isn't it? So down the edge, we've got about an hour to go now. We're not sure how to feed it. So little fish to sort of catch that we're pretty unsure. I'm feeding maggots just down the edge there on my left, which is on a top kit, and I'm feeding maggots on a top kit to my right, and a top kit and a short four in front, and then I'm fishing ground bait, maggots over ground bait on a top kit, short four, and me number 5 off to the right there as well. I do feel like we're sort of fishing into that dead water again. I don't think it's going to be brilliant, but off to me left, you can't really see it, but it sort of goes round a little bit of a bend and I can't see it very well. Plus there is an angler to me left, so I figured the room I've got is to me right. We've had one or two down the edge there. It's not, it's far from solid, but we have had one or two, which is good news. I think this is a small carp. So back on our short maggot line and a little skimmer. Not the best of signs, to be honest. That feels a bit better. That bow weighed out the peg as well. Didn't get a single sign down the edge either. Not a tail pattern, nothing. No line or nothing. Just a nice little fast dink on the float. But we are running into the final throws of the match now, so I'd expect to start getting one or two bites down there, really. Yeah, and this grind bait is proving to be the winner again. Funny, isn't it? We had that in the last match. I mean, we were on a much better peg with a little bit of breeze coming into us. Um, a lot more fish there, bigger fish as well, but that was definitely the winner, wasn't it? It was grind bait. It seems to be the same today. But it isn't always the case. I do like to fish me edges sort of both differently, and if one thing proves better than another, then you can always change the other line to the same thing. My left hand edge has been devoid, to be honest. I've dropped in there a few times. I've not seen any sign there at all. And I think on this particular day in this particular peg, it's just a little bit too short, a little bit too close to us. Feels like it got a little bit of weight, this one, doesn't he? It's what we want. Five or six of these now in the last sort of 20 minutes be very handy. And it kind of made me mind up now. It's just short maggot line in front and down to the right hand edge. And if I can keep catching down the right hand edge, I'll stay there. If it slows rapidly all of a sudden, then I'll go in front on that maggot line, and we'll just pick between those two and try and put as much as we can in the net in those sort of final minutes, really. And then we'll see where we end up. It's a job to see the rest of the section.